How much does it cost to own a horse in India? What is the horse market in India like in 2025? How much does it cost to buy and maintain a horse? You can get a horse for just 50,000, but it is even bigger in size than a horse that is worth 50 lakhs or more, and you cannot even tell the difference. So, which one should you get? What is the right budget for a horse? Let us see that now. After being associated with the horses for more than 10 years now and interacting with hundreds of horse owners, I understood the difference between a cheaper horse and an expensive one, and the reason behind it, and the monthly budget variation between the owners. I also learned the hard way with this wide range of price for horses from 50k to 50 lakhs about what price range should I go with while buying a horse. I shall give you an entire cost and expense breakdown for buying and maintaining a horse now. So, these are the three things that to understand and the reasons for the differences in the price range and what range to opt for. Number one is breed and pedigree. It mostly depends on the breed. In India, we have these native Indian breeds which are the Katiawari and the marwari. We also have the pony breeds and the cross breeds that are not as small as the pony and also not as big as the large breeds. Then we have the English breeds which are called the Thoroughbreds. They are even larger than the native breeds, but in recent times the native breeds are also unfortunately bred mostly for just height, and that size range is closing up. The Indian breeds in my perspective are more beautiful and elegant. People prefer to have the Indian breeds as a symbol of royalty and status than the English breeds. This is very ironical and in contrast to the other things where we believe that whatever comes from the West is better than an Indian based product. So naturally the Indian breeds are more expensive. We can find some thoroughbreds retired from the race course as cheap as 30 to 50,000 rupees. But these are not very much preferred by horse owners, and they mostly go to beaches and the hill stations where they work as these tourist horses. But they are only cheaper while buying. The monthly maintenance of this horse is the same as any other large Indian breed, if not even more, as they are bigger and eat a lot. They require greater medical care and attention because they are not our native breeds and they also need to adapt. We can also find the ponies and other small cross breeds in the same price range. Some ponies that are performance horses in pony horse races or the really beautiful ones will be sold at a higher fancy price, and that price range can vary from just 15,000 rupees to even 1 lakh rupees. So then come the Katiawari. Since they are also a large breed but a bit smaller than the marwari, they are currently a bit cheaper in the market compared to the marwari. But in terms of attitude or stamina or beauty, loyalty, they are in no way secondary to the marwari horses. Actually, they are even more tempered and have a bigger attitude than the marwari, but this is my personal opinion. It is very hard to find a purebred Katiawari these days as they are from Gujarat. A purebred Katiawari can range from 1 lakh rupee to 5 lakh rupees. Very rare exceptional horses that have won shows or have proven as very good producers alone might have a very high price. We can easily find the Katiawar and the Marwar mix in the market. Any horse that does not have a DNA test and registration paper is almost always a mix. We can find these horses in all price ranges from around 1.5 lakh rupees to even 10 lakh rupees. Then we finally come to the Marwari breeds. I study this breed every day, and this breed has fans from all over the world. I personally fancy them, and if I had to choose between a best Arab horse and a Marwari horse, I would always choose a Marwari horse. This was bred by the Rajputs in Rajasthan, and it is still protected and maintained by them today. The breed almost went extinct during the British rule, and only by the 1990s the government along with the breeders took strict actions to protect and bring back this breed into the spotlight. Today, right from the Ambanis, all are into this beautiful breed. This breed's market has significantly risen after the COVID pandemic, and in fact the price has doubled. A purebred Marwari horse with registration papers will have a price range from 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs and even more. I have seen even bigger deals happening in the Marwari horse world where some horses were sold for 1 crore, 1.5 crore. But let us leave out the exception. So this is the market today in the Indian horse world. But which horse breed and what price range should you choose? Which budget is right for you? That brings us to the second point. Finding your ideal price range. What are your goals in bringing in a horse? What do you want it for? There can be various reasons for you to want a horse. You might want to take it for shows, or you might want to start a stud farm and a breeding program. Some you might want to start it as a business, as a breeder or as a trader. Some will just want a horse to ride every day. That's it. I've also seen some people who just want a horse to simply be there in their house or in their property for status or religious reasons. All these different purposes have different price ranges and breed selections. If you aim to only ride it every day and use it as a working horse, then you can choose a mixed breed without a pedigree. Consider a budget range from 2 to 4 lakhs. All these ranges are approximations and you can vary a small percentage above or below, but do not deviate too much from it. If you choose to buy a horse for breeding or show purposes, then that is when you have to go to a higher budget that starts with at least 7 or 8 lakhs. But the current market price for show quality or high pedigree marwari horses is around 15 to 20 lakhs. But this is only for experienced people in the horse field. Unless you are so rich and want to enter the horse industry and make a name for yourself in the horse world, and you have the mentorship of experienced people around you, I would never suggest you to play this game. I would always advise first time horse owners to choose a good healthy horse from between 1.5 to 3 lakhs and not beyond that. These horses do not have resale value unless you bought them very early by identifying the best animal at a very small age and you won some shows. Sadly, our Indian breeds are only used in shows so far. The sports are still developing and are in very early stages. The Thoroughbreds are priced based on both the pedigree and the racetrack record, but the marwari is currently priced based only on the pedigree and the show. A breed and show quality horses mostly interlinked, but there are certain high budget horses that are not good enough for a show but are excellent producers. If you are aiming to get just a pet horse, or you do not have a big budget and experience and you do not wish to ride, then you can choose the pony varieties. These pony varieties are both native and imported. The native ponies can be bought from 15,000 while the Shetland ponies are priced from at least 70,000 to a few lakh rupees. If you want only large animals or pets, then you can choose a price range between 1 to 2 lakh rupees. Now let us move on to the final and most important point. Point number 3 is your recurring and non-recurring expenses. Frankly, you can even sum up a big amount of cash and buy that first horse. That is easier, but you have to be very careful about the other one, the one-time expenses and the monthly recurring expenses. Please buy a horse if and only if you are sure that you can afford to take proper care of it by investing in it properly. The monthly recurring investment includes the feed cost, the labor cost, the shoeing or farrier cost, the grooming cost, and most importantly the veterinary and the medicine cost. The range can vary depending on your horse's price range and your affordability from 5,000 up to even 20,000 per month. But initially, I would say at least a minimum of 150 rupees per day is required to maintain a horse, which comes down to 4.5k per month. You can cut down the costs if you have a place to graze or grow your own feed, and if you can replace the labor by doing all the work by yourself. The one-time expenses will include your initial stable setup. It can vary from anywhere between 15,000 to 1 lakh, but a 15,000 worth stable is more than enough. If you are riding or getting some work out of it, then you might add a saddle and other accessories cost. Otherwise, you can just add the basic ropes, halter cost, and cost of grooming and other tools. If you are into breeding, then you will have to pay for breeding your mare. But if you own a stallion, you will get paid for your breeding. It can vary from around 10,000 to 1 lakh per horse per breeding, and it all depends on the bloodline and the breed quality. But like I said, I would never advise this option for new horse owners. So just be prepared and have this awareness before considering to buy a horse for you. This is the market range as of the beginning of 2025, and I predict this will continue for at least the next 2 years. If you want to know about the basic things before buying your first horse, I've answered that and you can check it out. Thank you.